If your order system can create a spreadsheet as output and then you can modify it somewhat, you can use our import feature here. So assuming you have some kind of a spreadsheet data with names, email, and more importantly their address, that's really all you need to use the system. You can add additional information like special text, which might include unlock codes, individual messages for each order is what this is for. You also can use multiple quantities and multiple products within an order. So what you want to do is highlight your spreadsheet data. We're going to use this example here. We don't want the top row. We're just going to grab everything else and right click copy. As you'll see here, we have the borders or the table headings here. You don't need that. We just want the rows here. We have, most importantly, addresses, any kind of city, state, zip information, and you don't need the product ID because you can pick it on a later screen. You also don't need the mail method, but if you have it, you can use one of these four values here. And if you have special text that goes with the order, as we mentioned before, this can be unique to each customer order. So once we've copied that, we're going to scroll down here and paste it into the screen. Don't worry that it doesn't look the greatest right now. That's fine. Once we preview, we're going to see how it's been broken down. And we'll see that we in fact have what looks to be all the first names in one place, the last names. You can have the columns in any order you want because we're going to define them down here. But the main idea is you have emails in one column. You've got the what looks to be, this is the street address in one column. Also combine all of your address into one column, like any kind of apartments or suite numbers. All of that would go on the one street address column. If you have any company name information, in this case here, we've got cities, states for the United States. If it's all United States orders, you don't even need a country column, but this is where we have the two-letter codes. You can actually spell out the country name as well, but this is the United States, this is Great Britain. This is an invoice number. If you don't have one, we'll generate one. You don't need a quantity field. If you don't have it, we assume it's going to be 1. But what's interesting here is you can order multiple products in a single record. So what this is two different projects with an X in between them. And then if you want to define the quantity for each of those products, it means quantity 1 of this product, quantity 1 of this product. And in this case, you'll see they wanted quantity 2 of this of the last one. It's positional. You don't need any one of these because you can pick them later. We'll see that in a minute. You can also leave this blank. This is the shipping method. If you have different shipping methods that you want to send on each row, you can specify them explicitly here as express, priority, standard, or R-Track standard. If you have DVD or CD cases, everything goes as a parcel, so there's really no difference between these two. But if you have USBs and eco mailers or sleeves or CDs and sleeves, the standard rate goes at a lower cost letter rate. So this would save money if you don't need tracking. If for only packages that are thin like that, like a USB in a sleeve or eco pack, or a CD in a sleeve. But if you're using CD or DVD case style packaging, there's no difference. It's considered a parcel and it goes it includes tracking. In this case, you'll see there's a other column that includes specific information for each customer. You may or may not need that. But as we look down here, we're going to kind of leave a few rows here, and just so we can see it, we know that first name is column 1, and so this one actually guessed it backwards, so we're going to switch that. So first column, the first name is column 1, and the last name is column 2. Now we know email is column 3, and you'll see that customer email, it was guessed because we can key off certain things like that. So column 3 is correctly email. This is the street address, which is here. That's column, in this case we're going to do column 4 because the street address is actually here. And if we scroll up a little bit, we'll see that the company name is column 5, which was correct. We're going to see that the city is column 6, which is not quite right. I mean, once you do this once, it'll remember what you picked, and the next time you do this, it'll normally be filled in correctly. But what we're doing is we're defining, so we can see that invoice is 10, so this was off a little bit because this is the first time we're in here. The quantity field is 11. And then we're going to see the product ID field is 12, because this is what we define the product. And if you don't have anything, just put a 0 in there. And then the shipping method is 13, which mail method is 13, that's correct. And then the special text is 14. And let's just double check zip code. That's 8. That was 8. And the country, the country was 9. City is 6. State was 7. That was mixed up a little bit. And what we're going to do now is, we may have done this wrong, so what we're going to do is go forward and see if it looks correct to us. So we have another chance to change things. This is one of those situations where we have different quantities. You could change this up here, you could change this here, but we're going to continue. Company, full name looks correct, address looks correct. In this case, there is no state because this is international. And then the license key showed up. So we can slowly look down at each order just to double check it. And in this case, there was only quantity 1 by default. You could change this and just pick this to order both if you wanted, but you don't have to. We don't have a company for that. That's fine. This is a correct address. In this case, it's the city is correct. That's Florissant, Missouri, country, United States. And we're just kind of looking down. This one was set to Express on the spreadsheet, but we could change it here if we wanted to. So once you preview the data, or do this a few times, you won't have to look at it as closely. But you have the ability to order multiple quantities of multiple products, and so on and so forth. So we can go back to make changes, assuming, let's say, we defined a column incorrectly, but we haven't. So we could once again go back to preview, and in this case we could then finally at the end submit the orders. We're not going to do that though. I hope this is helpful.